Underground model.
Hey guys, thank you for tuning in again in the Inbox review. This time we're going to have a look at Tamiya's 112 scale Ducati 1199 Panigale S Tricolore Edition. Again, this is one of my unplanned builds, but as I said it before in my channel updates, when it comes about Kitmaker Network, my working desk, it's always available for them. I have a very good lucrative relation with the guys there, to which I want to thank for sending me this kit, and with this opportunity to thank also Tamiya America for providing this kit for review. I'm not going to do too much detailing about this motorcycle. I am not a connoisseur in this domain, and basically is my first build onto a motorcycle and my first build on 112 scale. But I'm eager to start this kit, of course. I've seen 3 builds already on YouTube. One of them turned out superbly. 2 of them they have a few mistakes, but doesn't really matter because I've seen what this kit looks like, so I have a pretty good idea what is inside the box before opening. Nonetheless, I'm very excited to lift the lid and start working on it. I'm going to start working on it right away after I finish this review, putting aside my build on my DM600 truck that can wait a little bit. Okay, I'm going to try to parallel them more or less, but let's see what we're going to go. This one is going to have priority. And now let's have a look at the box. So you have a short list of features here that says that accurately recreates the tricolor model with red, white and green marking scheme on its elegant cowls. We're going to see that really looks good. And then screw attached cowls that can be removed at your wheel. If you want to show the insides of the motorcycle with all the components, you can just remove the panel here. And also what is nice, and I really appreciate Tamiya eventually did this step, was the inclusion of cartograph decals, which on my opinion are absolutely fantastic, very easy to work with it. And let's see what is here. Here we've got another picture of the model, same the other side. As you might noted already, both sides are in Japanese. That's quite strange to me, at least. I never see Tamiya boxing that it has as main language the English on top and the Japanese only on the sides, but it doesn't really matter. It's just collateral observation. It has nothing to do with the building process inside. Yeah, as you can see, the box is very shiny. I'm going to tilt it for you a little bit. Yes, so you can see the model, its beauty. I really like it. I just hope I'm going to come anywhere nearby with this build, but anyhow, enough ranting. Let's move to the box contents. So what we have here is a background information in 4 languages, in Japanese, and then in English, German and French. It's very nice edition. Always I'm the one that always read the fine printing, so very sorry, actually I didn't not start a collection of those leaflets. Let's make a quick inventory of what we have into the box, and then we're going to do by my style with the instructions, and then the sprues and eventually with the other. So we have small plastic bag here, then we have the cartograph decals, here parts. We're going to have a look into detail to all of those. Sprue A, sprue C, let me organize it, and sprue B, A, B, C. And there is another sprue here, individually packed. It's got some thing inside, don't know what that be. They sent me a bag from Japan. Okay, we're going to have a look at it just now. And usual Tamiya additional information and cautions and such on printed at the bottom of the box. First we start with the instruction book. This is a usual Tamiya booklet. I don't know what type of format is that. I don't think it's standard, but anyhow. So it's all Tamiya usual, the tools you're going to need, the color call out, the caution note, and the reproductions of the model. As you can see, it's an official Ducati licensed product. It has a sticker on the box too that shows that. Please don't miss this part in the instruction manual. It's how you have to deal with masking with this provided stickers. We're going to go back to them later to avoid any mistake. This is a list of optional parts that they are sold separately by Tamiya. Is suspension and the fork that they are made in aluminum, pretty much nicer than the one provided by the kit, but the kit is not let down by any means. We're going to see further. And then we start with the engine halves. So then we have the exhaust system, the muffler going in nicely, the radiator that get attached to the frame, and we start with the framing and the mounts of the motorcycle. By the way, this Panigale has a very interesting mounting system because of its frame construction. Anyhow, the assembly goes further. We have the swing arm here getting attached with the chain, and then we start moving to the brake components and the suspension. Then we start attaching everything to the frame, the gear shift and the tubes, and then the front suspension, the fork, and the head of the fork here with all these components. Looks beautiful. The wheels, then the frame, the assembly of the front wheel, which rotates. Everything is pretty much functional and completed model. I mean, the swing arm is moving, then we have steering, the wheels are moving, you see, not glue. So yeah, it's quite nice. Okay, more external detail. Then you have the handlebar for the motorcycle, and finally we start with the cowling and the other minor exterior details. Okay, you have the frame, the completed frame for the seat. It continues with the frame and the back. That's the rear of the motorcycle. Additional aesthetic parts, and then you go the fuel tank, the front lights and such, and this beautiful cowling. That's just fantastic, the way it looks and the way Tamiya did it. We're going to have a look at it. So it's a beautiful motorcycle and a beautiful kit from Tamiya, no question about it. I really consider myself lucky for having this kit and having the opportunity to work on it. And now what I was telling you before, that's the way you have to deal with the two color scheme, the red and the white. Actually it's a three color scheme because at the back those parts are painted X18, which is semi-gloss black. And then the attachment of the cowling, as I was saying earlier, this is being done with the help of the screws, so you can remove it at your will, or you can leave one part open, one part closed just for display. It's up to you how you're going to do. And finally the mirrors with the metallic stickers and on, and then you have some explanation about the choice of the color scheme. I didn't read this yet. I'm very curious to see, but I do know by reading their leaflet already that the Tricolore edition was released specially to celebrate 150 years from the unification of Italy in 2011. So that's why you have this tricolor scheme with the Italian color, as I stated before, red, white and green. Let's move now to the sprues. So sprue A. sprue A is molded in a glossy white plastic, beautiful surface. I can see some sort of scratch here. I'm not sure if it's a scratch or just a swirl from plastic. I'm not sure if my camera is going to catch it. This white is very reflexive, but other than that, beautiful finish on this plastic. I almost feel sorry that I have to put paint on it. So we have the two lateral cowlings. We have the vents protection here, the two halves of the fuel tank, the top of the cowling on the on front of the motorcycle, from the back of it. Now you have the light buckets, and we have the exhaust system. You see how nicely is that organized on the sprue. So beyond the wonderful engineering that Tamiya puts on almost every kit, the way that those sprues are laid out, they are actually show you that Tamiya are not playing when it comes about engineering and planning. I'm not the first one to wonder, but I like to echo the opinion why in heaven Tamiya does not put this kind of effort in its armor kit and prefer to rebox some ICM kits. By the way, the ICM kits are superb, but that's not my point. My point is why they cannot develop such quality level and such engineering for their armor kits. Is still an enigma for me, but doesn't matter. And look, this is the support for the seat, all wonderful here. Yeah, needless to say, there is no wave flash, no sink mark that I can see, and the only thing that I can bitch about it is this little scratch there. I think it's a scratch after all. Now sprue B is molded in black plastic and not as glossy as the white one. Actually has some sort of very fine texture on it. So I guess you can assemble this motorcycle without even painting it if you are a lazy modeler or an absolute beginner, or just don't want to mess with paints. I don't know. So we have the wheels here, the frame from the engine, the back seat, look how beautiful that is molded, the head from the engine, the lateral framing in here, the mirrors with amber turn lights from Ducati and beautifully reproduced on styrene by Tamiya. There are some ejector pin marks at the back of the parts, but they're not going to be visible, so nothing to complain about. The screw holes, they are very well marked, so no, it makes no sense to repeat myself. It's just beautiful molds, very nicely detailed, spectacular composite shapes from Tamiya. So yes, if there is out there any perfect kit, this must be the one. We're going to sprue C, which is molded in some sort of silvery plastic. As usually happens, though, that silver plastic has some swirls to it. You can see that all the manufacturers that they go for silver plastic. I quite don't understand this practice, because obviously you have to paint over those parts, at least the most visible ones. Again, spectacular detail. Can't say nothing about the level of detail here. Look, this chain, how it's molded. I mean, everything is molded superbly. I mean, look this, how much, the amount of details on those engines are beyond belief. I'm going to move to the smaller parts. This cowling, which I get with an unexpected gift. I don't know what this thing should be. Don't send me Japanese bags in Caribbean. They have no natural predators. But by the way, this one looks like a predator. Look at that. Superb. How delicate, how nice, how curvaceous and square it's in the same time. I don't know how to say it. And I see very fine lines here that they are for masking. So not only that Tamiya provides you with masks, but they do provide you also with a guide if you want to do the masking by yourself, which is superb. Again, I haven't noticed that on the lateral cowlings though. I don't want to go back to them. I'm going to see if they are there or not. But yes, what can I say? I'm speechless. Superb. Okay, before I even opening this, I should call it again a mark of fantastic engineering from Tamiya. So what you get here, get this screwdriver, which is a magnetic one, by the way, see, to help you with mounting these small screws. I think a watchmaker will be better suited than me to put together this model, but I'm going to do my best. That's the spring, that's the tube, that are the line brakes and the fuel lines, I guess. Not sure exactly. Polycaps to keep the parts movable after assembly. Tamiya provides those polycaps that they are more friction resistant than the regular plastic. And then the tires, superbly molded, but they are still stiff enough, so no bad surprises, and they swear the tire pattern is accurately reproduced, and I am inclined to believe them. And again, very nice. You see, you have the arrow that shows you the way you should install the tire, and same here. Marvelous clear parts, which are manier than I initially expected. I don't know why. I had the impression just a few, but actually they are closer to a dozen than to one. But then I realized why. So this is not a complaint, I'm just saying. You have the turn lights, front lights, the back lights, the windshield, beautiful, absolutely clear plastic, absolutely shiny. So let's try to keep it that way. Put it back in its own envelope. And finally, cartograph, decals, masks, and metallic transfers. See how careful Tamiya packed those. So those are the metallic transfers, the emblem of the motorcycle, the Ducati. No, there is a serial number actually. And the mirror surfaces, I work with those already from a Hasegawa kit. They look superb on the completed model. Now the masks, that you have to cut them yourself, so they are not die cut or pre-cut masks, but they are just printed on a Tamiya masking sheet. Tamiya sells those on larger sheet. They are very helpful indeed, especially those compound shapes here and here, so it saves you some effort. And the last thing is the decals that says clearly made by cartograph. It says also into the box. So this I like about Tamiya, they never put under silence what they have in the box like some other manufacturer. They say clearly plastic is made by ICM, or the calls are printed by cartograph, and such, and you know what to spend your money on. So I appreciate very much. Fantastic fine print. Now I don't want to be bragging about the quality of cartograph decals, but I used them on my MiG 15 build and they just went flawless. Only minor problem could be here that come on the applied on the rubber surface. I never did that yet, but so perfect registry, perfect colors. And now I have one problem. I don't use Tamiya spray paints. I don't like to spray my paints with it from the rattle can, and I only use enamels for this kind of job, but I'm not sure I do have the right color. So I'm supposed to come as close as possible to this TS18, I think is. Let's try and see. So it is a pretty close match. I think I'm lucky with that. Well, I can turn up or turn down anytime my res, so that's not the main concern, but I'm darn close with this one. This is the color I'm going to use. It's close enough to the red I have into the calls, but I know it, I tried it already. It's a very good enamel paint. Now the only question I have now left is if my skills are good enough to match the engineering of this absolutely superb Tamiya kit. So wish me luck with that, because this is my first try in 1/12 scale and my first ever motorcycle. I'm very eager, guys, to start biting into this plastic. Thank you very much for following. Please subscribe to see the next episode, which is going to be dedicated to the build of this motorcycle. And yeah, stay close.